Today I'm going to tear down my 6 arc AR-15, go through some of the stuff with it. I need to clean it and adjust the adjustable gas block that I put on it. It occasionally doesn't want to chamber around. I'll touch on a few things that I've had on it that I like. First off is this suppressor cover. It helps with the thermal that I have on it for otherwise your suppressor will heat and it'll show up in your thermals and then you can't see anything past your suppressor. So this suppressor is a dead air. It's a Sandman. It is a one that you can take off and put back on. Has a muzzle brake. I have a 243, also has a muzzle brake like this one so that I can change cans. I like this can so far. Maybe not the quietest can in the world, but for the price point and being able to swap it in between rifles is always a good thing. This light that you see here is controlled with some buttons. Bought it on Amazon. It has a laser mode for if you're hunting with your buddies, you can point something out with it. It shines a long ways. And it also, with the flip of the switch, has a light. And it works really good. It's really bright if you're trying to find coyotes in the dark. It also has laser and light. You can't really see the laser with it right now. It's not dark enough in the room. The light works really well. The only problems I've ever had with the light is with the controls. Sometimes if you're not careful, you'll bump the controls and it'll come on. It also has just an on-off switch. This is a Pulsar trail. I picked it up secondhand. I really like it so far. The only complaint I have with it really is that sometimes when you're recording or you're wanting to record something, you have to turn it off and turn it back on if you've just powered it down. Like a lot of times in between stands, I'll instead of leaving it on fully on, I'll hit the side button and just have it on for just standby mode, and that way it's not burning through as much battery. But I'll get to taking it apart and then I'll show you the adjustable gas block. So now that I have this torn down, there's 3 bolts in the grip here in the forearm that you take out, and then there's this tang that you have to pull out to get this grip off. I also had to take the sling and the suppressor off, or the muzzle brake off, to get it to slide past all my M-lock stuff. The suppressor also has some washers that for tuning your muzzle brake. That way if you shoot without the suppressor, it doesn't it pushes straight back on you instead of bucking. And then this just slides off. It's a little tricky with all my light stuff on there, all M-locks into in there, and the catch on the adjustable gas block a little bit. Not a big deal. Here's the adjustable gas block. There's some set screws and stuff in it that I'll have to loosen to adjust it. I just need to move it just a little bit. So now that I have the adjustable gas block, you This is a Seekins precision adjustable, low profile adjustable gas block. That's your set screw, and you unturn it about a turn, or unscrew it about a turn. And then on the side of the rifle is the one that actually adjusts your gas. I have adjusted it already. I'm gonna go run through a few rounds through it, make sure it's gonna cycle right again, and then I'll take you through how I break down my AR to clean it. So I went and fired it, watched. You want to make sure your brass is at the 4 o'clock position from your rifle. When it ejects, you want it to hit about 4, pretty dang close to 4 anyway. It's hitting right there. It's still gassing maybe a little more than I'd like it to. I had it set where it wasn't gassing quite as hard. I'm gonna leave it that way because that was the problem I run into this morning hunting coyotes, is that it was a little undergassed and wasn't picking up the next round. So hopefully that fixes it, and probably when I switch to my reloaded ammo, I might have to do this all over again. So yeah, I'll put the forearm back on and show you how I tear this down. So into the gun cleaning part, it's not my favorite thing to do. ARs seem to be more maintenance than a bolt gun. The reason I went with an AR for night gun is I do most of my night calling by myself, and so I figured running the bolt was one less thing that I had to worry about. I'll go through, show you what I use. There's some things I'm going to do different in the future. Just this is what I have right now, so this is what I use to clean my gun. I bought this gun cleaning kit off of Amazon. It comes with rod, handles. It's a mess because I flipped it over. Rods, handles, patches, come with little bottles to put fluid in, brushes. The rod went by the wayside not very long ago, so I bought a Montana Extreme cleaning rod. It's a one-piece rod, which is kind of sucks for if you don't have a lot of places to store it. Has a bearing handle in it. It's fairly long, so if you got long barrels, you're able to reach all the way. That's what I use for a cleaning rod. It's what I got recommended to use. I haven't had any problems with it so far. It's carbon fiber, so it doesn't scratch up the inside of your barrel. I've used hops forever. Montana Extreme makes a better cleaning agent than hops. I'll probably start using that once I get that hops used up. This G96, the G96 complete gun treatment, it's really good stuff. It's expensive, but it's worth it. I use it on the trigger and the bolt, or the action on this AR, and I've never had the action freeze up, and I've hunted in 20 below nights with the wind blowing 15, 20 miles an hour. So if it was going to freeze up, it should have froze up on me already. The breakdown is fairly simple for an AR. You have a pin in the front and a pin in the back, and you push them both out, and then the upper will detach from the lower, and then you have to take your bolt mechanism out and clean it, and I'll show you more on it. And then I usually swab off the trigger. I go through a lot of Q-tips. I use Q-tips quite a bit for cleaning guns. Seems to work good to get in crevices where you can't get with other things. But like I said, it doesn't take very long. I just pulled that apart in a few seconds. There's your trigger. And it usually doesn't get too dirty. You can see how it's got some lube in it, and there's some dirt particles way down in there. Here's the upper with the bolts carrier in there. So then this is an ambidextrous bolt pull. You just pull up on it. Kind of got to pull the bolt up out of there, and we will take that all apart. There's keys to slide this all out. To get your firing pin out, this lever comes out, and if you can see, that silver deal up in there is the gas tube from where we just did the adjustable gas block. So to pull your bolt apart, you're going to want a pair of pliers. And you pull this pin out right here on the side. And then this comes back, and your firing pin comes out. You can see how dirty my firing pin is. And then this turns sideways and pops out. And then this part slides out. And it wasn't very long ago that I did this, but there's a little pin in there. And you push that out, and this top piece comes off. And then you can clean, there's a spring and a bunch of stuff in there. You can clean that all out. I did that not very long ago. I'm probably not going to do it this trip, but I'm going to clean. You can see that should be shiny in there, and it's all pretty dirty, so I'm hoping my reload shells may be a little cleaner than these. So I've cleaned my trigger area. I got it sitting upside down, letting some of the lube leak out of it. I'll wipe the rest off before I put it back together. I cleaned the bolt carrier. You want to make sure this one's got a fail safe on it, but this little spring thing I was telling you could take apart is your ejector for your bullet, and you want to make sure that it is faced to the outside of your bolt where the dimple is. I'm sure most of them probably fail safe, but I bet there's one out there somewhere that you can put that in the other way. If you put it in the other way, it's not going to eject a shell or casing very well. I also cleaned my charging handle, and now all I got to do is run some patches through my barrel. You always want to make sure you start at the receiver end and push going out the end of the barrel. Go the same way your bullets go, and don't pull your patch back through. You want to push it through, push your patch through, and then take the patch off. I'll probably run a patch through, let it sit for a little while, give it time to soak in, then run a patch through, see how clean it is. Do that a few more times, and then you should be ready to, after you get your patches through and it's as clean as you want, run a few dry patches through, and then you want to lubricate your barrel. I use hops, of course, lubricating oil. You could spray a patch down with this. It just helps keep from, when you clean your barrel, it cleans all the lead and gunpowder residue out of there, and so it'd rust if you left it set. This one I'm probably going to take out and shoot right away because I need to sight it in, and so your first shot's probably, I wouldn't count it when you're sighting in. I'd shoot at least 2 rounds. Just kind of gives everything time to seat back together. I usually try to, after I take a gun apart and clean it, I usually try to go make sure it's on or hitting where it should. In theory, with the ARs, you should be able to take it apart, put it back together, or clean everything, put it back together, and you should be ready to rock and roll. But I've never really had a problem with it, but it's just one of those things when you're shooting, you should make sure you make sure your guns are on. So I've got the AR all put back together. It'll be ready to be sighted in and hopefully kill some dogs. If you have any more questions, don't be afraid to ask me in the comments. If you have any ideas for future videos, don't be afraid to put that in the comments also. If you're looking for more info on cleaning guns, Hornady has a podcast out about cleaning guns. It's pretty good. I've listened to it. Don't be afraid to hop over on their channel as well and look and watch the video on it. Until next time, keep riding.